Hello, my name is Claudia Schwegmann and I am the founder of OpenAid, an NGO in Germany promoting aid transparency and feedback processes. This presentation has been recorded for the African Good Governance Network. In the first part of this presentation, I explained why transparency in development cooperation is important. I also introduced the International Aid Transparency Initiative. In this second part, I will give some concrete examples of how data can be used to improve governance in development cooperation and beyond. So, if donors agree to publish data about development cooperation and about specific projects, as they have done in the International Aid Transparency Initiative, what can we do with this data? Well, in the first place, this information could be made more accessible by visualization. Both taxpayers in the north and citizens in the south have a right to information, but large tables with a lot of numbers are difficult to understand and use. For better accountability, people need to have a good understanding of financial flows. Once we know financial details, information can be meshed up. The US website Open Secret relates political decision-making processes to party funding. In development cooperation, financial flows could be linked to many different data sets, for example poverty indicators, regional dominance of national political parties, regional government spending, or business interests of companies. The fight against corruption but also policy analysis could benefit from such mashups. One mashup example that is useful for policy analysis is geocoding, developed by Aid Data in the US. In geocoding, information on the geographic location of projects is visualized on a map with the size of the bubble representing the financial volume of a project, like here in Kenya. In a second step, the project information is combined with a percentage of people living below the poverty line in different Kenyan provinces. Just by looking at the map, a host of questions on aid policy arise. For Parliament and citizens in aid recipient countries to be able to monitor government spending, the national budget needs to comprise all relevant financial flows. Particularly in countries where aid represents an important source of income, it is crucial that donors provide data that can be easily aligned to national budgets. Information about aid can also be important at the local level. The project Map Kibera is a crowdsourced effort to establish a local map with all relevant information to citizens. If there is no information about aid projects and the services they deliver, an important element in this map is missing. In areas with a lot of aid projects, citizens could get a clearer idea about which project is doing what. Of course, not every citizen of Kibera has internet at home, but internet community centers are created all over Africa, even in remote areas. Many information services can also be made available on a mobile phone, and in every community there are people who can act as mediaries for information. If citizens know which institution is supposed to provide which kind of services in their home area, they are also in a position to give feedback about these services, point out failures, suggest changes, and provide valuable local knowledge. Huduma, a new website in Kenya, allows citizens to report inadequate service provision in the areas of health, education, water, infrastructure, and governance. The red bubbles represent reported cases in the health sector that are spread all over the country. It has to be noted, though, that cases in education have only been reported from the capital, and there have been no reports on governance yet. The Dutch website Akvo has to some degree applied this idea to development cooperation. Akvo is a database of aid projects where relevant project details are given and where citizens can provide feedback on project implementation and impact. Akvo may adopt the standard of the International Aid Transparency Initiative to make their information more comparable to other aid projects. Citizens around the world demand a more active involvement in governance. Accessible and relevant information empowers citizens to to participate effectively. For example, citizens can actively contribute to policy discussions or to debates on public projects, like in this case in Amsterdam. In the Dutch capital, a major infrastructure project concerning the River Amstel was planned, and the city invited citizens to participate in the planning stage. In countries where participatory processes on the internet and through mobile phones may exclude many people, combinations of online and offline consultations are conceivable. Citizens' participation may also go beyond debate. The South African website Mobilitate helps citizens to report problems in public services, report crimes, contact local politicians, and also organize themselves to improve their community. Such a service becomes even more powerful if it is linked to relevant data both by government administration and by aid projects. These are only examples. It is not possible to assess in advance all possible data users. Different groups and organizations within a society have different information needs. For one donor or a single government administration, it is impossible to cover all information needs in appropriate formats and keep the information up to date. With open data, all stakeholders can contribute to developing a broad range of applications for better service delivery and better governance. I hope this presentation made clear why transparency is necessary and how open data can be useful. Transparency is certainly not the only requirement for good governance, but I cannot see how good governance can be possible without transparency. Thank you very much for watching the second part of the presentation. The first part of this presentation can be found under Claudio on Tube on YouTube. More information is available under openaid.de and on our OpenAid Facebook site. In addition, there is an aid transparency group on the social network LinkedIn. Other interesting websites are aidinfo.org, aidtransparency.net, aiddata.org, and publishwhatyoufund.org. Thank you very much.